right? Okay, cool.
Yes.
Perfect. Well, let me tell you a little bit about today's flow. Let's see here, speaker view. Okay. So I think what I'm going to play around with this week is just working everyone towards what we refer to as a peak pose. Okay. And so I'm going to be exploring different ways to do this, right? With our particular group of people that we practice with. A peak pose is generally speaking a harder yoga posture that you use the practice to work your way into. So you warm up those particular joints, you warm up those particular muscles, so that when that pose comes, your body's ready for it. It's much more effective than just being in a class and sort of, you know, the teacher throwing that at you. Also too, I recognize that like we're all at different levels. So what's nice about working your way into a peak pose is you sort of learn the steps that come before that, and you can kind of just chill there, you know, for a week or two or a month or however long it takes. And then eventually you're able to take that step further into the peak pose. So we won't actually do the peak pose today, but if you're going to be with me throughout the week, you'll see the peak pose come later on in the week. And the peak pose is called flying pigeon. Rebecca, you probably know this pose. Maybe all of you know what this pose is. But basically a flying pigeon, you could also call it a flying figure four, okay? So we'll work a lot with the figure four shape today and really just opening up the knees and opening up the hips so that when you see flying figure four or flying pigeon pop into the sequence later on in the week, you'll be ready for it, okay? Awesome. So to celebrate figure four, we're gonna do four count breath, which is also my favorite breath. You can also call it box breath because it's 4 parts and each part is exactly the same. So we inhale 4, we hold the breath for 4, we exhale 4, and we hold the breath for 4, okay? 4 parts, 4 counts, really good for balancing out your nervous system. All right, so let's take a moment to close our eyes and just get settled in. And then just taking a moment also to just get really honest with ourselves about what's here for us. You know, physically what's here, mentally what's here, emotionally what's here. And then just starting to take a little bit of extra breath on the way in, a little bit of extra breath on the way out. And I like to imagine that these first few moments, right, as we're moving toward the breathing practice, it's like you jumping into the ocean and just starting to sink down, all the way down until you finally find that quiet place at the bottom. So you're just shifting gears from the outside world into your own self. Awesome. And so before we actually set our intention, take a moment to reflect on what your intention might be today. Maybe you're not even sure yet, right? But what is it that you want to create on your mat? How do you want to move through your day today? Just take a moment to reflect on that. And we'll set our intention in a moment, but we'll move through our breathing practice first. So we'll prepare with a breath in and a breath out, and then we'll begin, and I'll start to count. All right, so let's take a nice deep breath in and a long breath out. You'll start to breathe in nice and slow for 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold your breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold your breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, and pause. 1, 2, 3, 4, Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause here. Let's sip in a little extra breath. Little more if you can. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. And pause your breath. See if you can exhale a little more. Little more. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very nice. Come back to a normal rhythm of breathing. Take your time to officially set your intention. And when you feel complete with that, you can bring a soft gaze back into the room, and we're going to actually lie down on your back, right? So find a nice flat back position here. And we'll take our palms down by our hips, okay? So make sure your feet are hip distance apart. And as you inhale, you'll start to press down through your feet. You're gonna start to float your hips up, and your arms are gonna reach up and over the head towards the back of your mat. And then as you exhale, you'll lower your hips down and then float your hands back toward the floor. And you'll just keep going like that. Inhale, float the hips up, arms reach up and back. Exhale, float the hips down and the hands follow. So very gentle warm up for the spine. Keep going. Exhale, lower down, and just noticing what you notice as you start to move, right? As the body is moving, you'll start to notice, right? Where do I feel stiff? Where do things feel good? Couple more like that. Inhale, lifting up through the hips, reaching up and back through the arms. Exhale, lower down, and release the hands. One more time. Inhale. Maybe you go a little bit further up with the hips this time. Exhale, release the hips, release the hands. Very good. Let's take your right ankle to cross over your left thigh. Okay, so this is the very first figure 4 shape we're gonna see in our practice today. So you should be able to actually, you look down, it kind of looks like a 4, right? So flex your top foot. Try to move this right knee forward a little bit. Just notice if you feel that. And if you do, you can stay here. If you need more, let's lift the bottom foot, weave the hands through that hole, and catch the underneath side of your left hamstring. Okay, so you've got that left leg here. Very nice. Now send a lot of breath into that right knee especially, yeah, and into that right hip. As you exhale, try to flatten out your back. Lengthen through the back of your neck. 2 more breaths. Exhale, just gently deepening your experience here. 1 more breath. Really good. All right, so let's slowly bring this left foot back to the ground. Okay, keep your figure 4, keep that right ankle across the thigh, extend your arms out wide, and then pick your hips up and plop them over to the right side of your mat. Let your legs fall over to the left. So you're gonna try to keep this right ankle sort of wedged underneath your left thigh. All right, so you're coming into a twist. First, look straight up and then look towards your right hand. And then just really find a nice long breath. What we're trying to do is just kind of break loose those stubborn parts through the joints and the muscles. We'll take 1 more breath here. Really good. Inhale, just slowly undo the twist. You can exhale, undo the legs, and then just adjust your hips. You're coming back into the center of your mat. Okay, so we're gonna repeat that on the other side, but we'll add on a little bit. So let's take your hands by your hips. This time you'll inhale, keep your hands where they are. Lift your hips up, up, up. And then walk your hands under you and maybe interlace your fingers if that's available. Let's get your shoulders off your chest, onto your back. Yes, move the knees forward, puff the heart up, and then nice deep breaths. 3, 2, and 1. So we'll release the hands, lower the hips down, and then we get to cross this left ankle over the right thigh. Okay, so same, different side. Excuse me, let's flex this top foot, okay? Before we move, just push your left knee forward. Notice how that feels. If this is enough, you can stay here, or you can pick that bottom foot up, weave your hands through the hole, catch your leg, and start to pull gently toward you. Lengthening through the back of your neck, and then smoothing out your breath. Trying to flatten out your spine here. Really noticing what you're feeling through that left hip and that left knee. One more breath. And then just slowly release this right foot back to the floor. So we're gonna keep the figure 4 shape, okay? Extend the arms out wide, lift your hips up, plop them over to the left side of your mat, and then let the knees fall to the right. So you're gonna wedge your left ankle under the right knee if possible. Look directly up, and then see if you can turn your gaze to the left hand. It's like you're just opening up that dialogue between you and your body. You're starting to employ your curiosity. It's one of the most powerful tools we have, right? Is to stay curious. Awesome. Let's inhale, bring those knees back to center. Uncross your legs, adjust your hips. You're gonna hug your knees into your chest and give yourself the biggest hug possible while I hook my mic back up to my pants. And then you'll start to rock and roll along your spine. Okay, so just waking up your spine, getting all that spinal fluid, moving freely through the body. And then we're gonna actually come right up to a standing forward fold, okay? So your feet will be about hip distance, maybe a little bit wider, and you can start to fold down the legs and simply catch opposite elbows here, relaxing through the back of your neck. I always love this one in the morning. It's not necessarily the easiest one in the morning because you'll feel that morning body, but it's really good, yeah, to get that. It's a bit of an inversion, right? Because your head is upside down. Yes, and then maybe you need to keep those knees a little bent this morning. That's okay. Try to rock your weight towards the fronts of your feet just a touch and relax through the back of your neck. So the head should feel weightless. We'll hold it one more breath. Awesome. So let's take the hands down to the ground. Inhale, lift halfway. And as you exhale, fold down the legs. We're gonna actually root to rise here. Let's inhale, push through the feet, sweep your arms up overhead. And as you exhale, forward fold once again. Inhale, lift halfway. And as you exhale, I want you to bend your left knee a little bit. Take your left hand underneath your face and sweep your right hand to the sky. So you're in this nice little twist. Yeah, left knee is bent, right knee is straight, left hand is down, right arm is up. Deep breath. One more inhale. exhale, bring that hand down, straighten your left knee, bring your right hand under your face, bend your right knee, and then sweep your left hand up. So we just switched sides. Notice it's tempting, right, to move back into your heels. Rock towards the middle of your feet. One more inhale. As you exhale, release this top hand down, lift your gaze halfway. Exhale, fold down your legs. We're gonna root to rise. Inhale, push through your feet, sweep your arms up. As you exhale, once again, we fold down the legs. Inhale, lift your gaze, look forward, and then slide your left foot back. Okay, you're gonna actually bend both knees, and we're bringing this left knee to the mat. Okay, I'm gonna actually face you guys on this one. Okay, so take your hands inside the foot. Inhale, lift your heart up. Exhale, let's see if we can come down to just this left elbow. So we're gonna just be mindful, right? Because it's morning body. If that feels okay and you can bring both elbows down, you can try that. If none of that is working for you this morning, you can stay right up on your hands. And then just nice deep breaths, okay? Breathing into those hips. Nice, Katie, that looks good. We're here for 3. That looks good, everybody. 2, I like to rock a little bit once I get here. And then as we inhale, we'll come back up to your hands. Okay, tuck your back toe and just fire that back thigh off the ground. We're finding another twist here. Sweep your right hand up. Let your heart lean back a little bit in space. You got to stay really strong through your legs. Really strong through your legs. Let's take one more inhale. And as you exhale, bring this top hand back to the mat and let your back knee come down one more time. Yeah? Okay, so another little twist here. Let's bend. I'll show you this way. It's easier for you to see. So we'll bend your back knee. Okay, opposite arm, right arm, is gonna sweep around and see if we can reach for the foot. Okay, so if you might be able to actually get the foot. And if not, that's totally fine. Okay, you're right here. If you can, you catch the foot and you just experience maybe a little pull of the heel towards the bum, and you just start to open that thigh a little extra. Really good. One more breath. And then slowly release your foot. Okay, so you're gonna bring your hands back to the mat. Okay, so again, I'm gonna turn this way. Now, lifting this back knee off the mat. So we did this transition like a week, I think, ago, but we're gonna do it again. So you're gonna step your left hand off to the left. So it's actually gonna come off your mat. And this right foot is actually gonna step behind. Okay, so when you first try to do this, it's like, what the heck? It feels really funky, right? What you wanna do is bring your left wrist underneath your left shoulder. So if I were in side plank, my right foot would just step to the front of my body. So basically, there it is, Katie. Yes, you're in a side plank, but your right foot just steps in front of your body. That's it, everyone's got it. So either you hold here, or you inhale, let your hips lower just a little bit. You can reach your right hand towards your right foot, and then you can actually just lift a little bit. So Katie, you can also come into a modified side plank. And just, yeah, that's it, you got it. Couple more like this. We're almost done. Very good. And then in whatever way is best, as gracefully or as awkwardly, we're gonna slide this left leg through. Very good. So we come to a seat. I'll show you from the side. Your hands come behind you, and you're just gonna cross your left ankle over your right thigh. So you can see a theme, right? Here's that figure 4 again. I'm gonna face this way. So the further back your chest is, the more slack you have, right? But if you start to straighten out the elbows and lift the chest, you're gonna feel that more. And some of you might be good right there. Some of you might wanna walk your hands in a little closer and just get a little bit more feedback there. So notice the temptation to flop this foot, right? Keep that foot flexed, your top foot. We're here for 3, 2, good, and 1. So as you come out of there, inhale, just lean back, release the foot. You guys know this one. As you exhale, fingertips point towards the feet. You're gonna come up for this little reverse tabletop. If it feels okay in your neck, you can drop your head back. And then slowly release your hips. Whew. Okay, last little thing here. And then we're gonna move into an actual vinyasa. Catch a hold of your hamstrings, lift your feet. We're gonna build a little heat here in this Navasana. Yeah, lifting up through the sternum, extending one or both hands forward. We hold for 5, 4, 3, 2. As you exhale, hug a hold of those knees. You can rock forward, cross your ankles, step to your plank pose. Nice deep breath in and out here as you arrive in this master pose, right? Plank. So let's take a deep breath in here as you arrive, and either exhale, let yourself come all the way to your belly, or move into your first chaturanga, which you might be ready for. Inhale, you come through your baby cobra or your upward dog. Exhale, we come into that down dog, and we're gonna hold deep breaths for 3. Beautiful. First down dog of the morning. Took us a little while to get here. 2. And 1. Let's inhale, look towards the top of your mat. You can step, you can walk, you can jump yourself forward, coming into your Ardha Uttanasana half lift. Exhale, fold down the legs, Uttanasana fold. Awesome, let's inhale, root to rise, sweep the arms up. As you exhale, take the hands behind you, interlace your fingers. Roll your shoulders back, inhale. Exhale, bend your knees as you fold down belly to thighs, and then spill the head over the knees and maybe start to straighten out your legs. So that's just an option. Can keep the knees a little bit bent. Breathing into your shoulders, breathing into your hamstrings. We're here for 3, 2, and 1. Let's take the hands down. Okay, inhale, lift halfway. We're gonna slide this right foot back this time. Okay, so right foot comes back, take your knee down. We've got to actually get the hands inside your front foot and walk your front foot over to the left side of your mat. Okay, so here we are again, right? Lizard pose. Inhale, lifting up through the chest, and maybe you stay here. Maybe you exhale, take right elbow to the floor, and maybe both right and left elbow to the floor. It's nice to create a long spine here. So chest moving toward the front of your mat. Maybe you give yourself a little rock side to side through the edge of that left foot. And if there's ever any questions about poses, make sure you reach out to me. Happy to have that conversation with you about things maybe you have questions about. So let's come back up to your hands. Okay, we'll tuck your back toe, lift your back knee. All right, root down to the right hand, sweep your left hand up, and then see if you can start to lean your heart back in space. Yeah, nice heart opening twist. One more inhale. As you exhale, release this left hand down. Okay, so we actually are gonna try to bend this back knee. Okay, make sure you come above the kneecap, because if you're on the kneecap, that will hurt. Left arm sweeps up, and then around, it reaches for that back foot. Option to actually catch the foot. If you've got the foot, you can pull it towards your hips. We're here for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release the foot, bring your hands back. Lift your back knee. Okay, so you'll get to see me do this from the side, okay? So we step this right hand off to the side of the mat. So notice what I do here. I shift my shoulder over the wrist, and then you can step your right foot behind your left. So it comes off your mat. And then I always have to adjust a little bit. Like when I get there, I'm not exactly where I need to be. So sometimes I'll even come into that side plank and then step my foot forward, but make sure your right shoulder is over your right wrist. Reach your left arm up, so your left foot's in front. Woo, so you can stay right here, or you can start to just lower the hips down a little bit and then lift the hips and maybe reach that top arm overhead. So you're just kind of flowing down and up a little bit. We'll try it just one more time. And then as awkwardly or as gracefully, you're gonna pull this back foot through and then just come down to have a seat. Really good. So this right ankle crosses the left thigh. So we're on the other side. Fingertips point down towards your feet. You can lean back if you need to. If you want more feedback, you start to straighten the elbows and lift the chest. Flex your top foot and move that knee forward. We're here for 3, 2. You can start to come out the back of the pose, okay? Just bending the elbows, release the foot. And then one more time, lift those hips up, find that reverse back bend, reverse tabletop. And then we'll lower the hips down. So you should start to be feeling a little bit of heat just starting to build now. Okay, we'll catch under the hamstrings. So we're actually just gonna play around a little bit, okay? You can actually tap the toes to the mat and then see if you can lift them halfway or all the way. Okay, we'll tap to the mat. See if you can lift halfway or all the way. 2 more, tap, lift, tap, lift. We're gonna hold it here. Option to straighten the legs, option to rebend the knees, option to let go of the legs for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's cross the ankles. We're gonna rock it forward, step back into plank pose. Nice job, everyone. Some really funky transitions this morning. So you guys have stayed with it very nicely. Let's take a deep breath in. As you exhale, you can come down to your belly or into your chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog or baby cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Come back to your breath, nice and easy. We're gonna change things up a bit. Getting up to our feet a bit more now. So as you inhale, take this right leg to the sky. Nice and lifted there. You can start to bend the knee, simply opening up that hip just a little, maybe a lot. And then just decide, do you want to look under your right arm? Do you want to look under your left arm? They feel different. We'll inhale, straighten your right leg. Let's square off your hip. As you exhale, pull this knee towards your chest. Okay, come forward, shoulders over wrists, knee to chest. Let's do that again. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Right leg lifts. Exhale, knee to chest. Let's try it one more time. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, knee to chest. Step in between your hands. Woo. So if your foot gets stuck, just give it a little grab. Let's lower the back knee to the mat. Sweet. Okay, sweeping those arms up overhead, Anjaneyasana. It's our low lunge. We'll take your hands shoulder distance apart. And let's look straight out on the horizon for now. We're gonna interlace your fingers, okay? Bringing the palms of your hands to the back of your head. As you inhale, start to lift the eye gaze up, buoy up through the chest, and see if you might lean the head back into the hands. So we open up the shoulders, we open up the chest for 3, 2, and 1. Inhale to come back to a nice tall spine. You're gonna exhale, release your hands to frame your foot. Tuck your back toe, lift your knee, and then spin your back heel to the mat. We're gonna windmill the hands up. Inhale, warrior 2. So it feels good, right? To get up to your feet. Body's nice and warm. Try to keep this front knee right over your front ankle and then look right over your front middle finger. We're here for 3. Make sure your rib cage is lined up over your hips. 2. And 1. Inhale, take it back, reverse the warrior. Exhale, windmill your hands to frame your foot. Inhale, step to plank pose. Exhale, lower down your way, belly or chaturanga. Upward dog or baby cobra, breathing in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Awesome. Okay, so this is your rest. Time to integrate. Notice what you're feeling. Smooth out your breath. Relax your head. I know one thing yoga's really taught me is to not judge how I feel. Some days you feel great, some days you feel crappy. It's just part of being human. So to drop that judgment. Let's inhale, lift your left leg up. Okay, lifting it up as high as you can. And then when you're ready, you'll start to bend the knee. And then let that left hip, right, that top hip's gonna open, maybe a little bit, maybe a lot. And then choose which way you wanna turn the head. Yeah, which arm. If you wanna look under. Inhale, straighten your leg, square off your hips. Exhale, we travel forward, okay? Knee comes towards your chest, shoulders over wrists. Let's try it again. Inhale, send that left leg up. Exhale, knee to chest. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. This time we're gonna step in between your hands. When you're ready, you got that position going on, you can lower your back knee to the ground. Woo! We'll sweep those arms up. Inhale, Anjaneyasana. Shoulder distance are the arms, palms face each other. We'll look right out on the horizon. And then starting to interlace the fingers as you pull the palms of the hands behind the head. Yeah, you might even move your hips forward for this. Buoy up through the chest, lift the gaze, and then maybe lean the head back into the hands. One more breath. Inhale, come to stand tall here. Exhale, release your hands to frame your foot. We'll tuck your back toe, lift your knee, and then spin your back heel to the mat. When you're ready, inhale, windmill the arms up. Let's come into this warrior 2. Yeah. So I always notice with warrior 2, a lot of my students, they try to put all their weight into their front leg. And you've got a back leg too, right? So make sure that both legs work equal amount. So evenly distribute the weight. Left knee over left ankle. And we'll look right over that left middle finger. Couple breaths here. Keeping your rib cage and your hips in one line. Let's inhale, flow back, find that reverse warrior. As you exhale, windmill your hands down to the floor to frame your foot. You're gonna step right on back to plank pose. Let's take a deep breath in. Exhale, move through a vinyasa of your choice. You can chaturanga or belly. Inhale, up dog or baby cobra. Exhale, down dog. And then just steady out your breath. Ujjayi pranayam, deep nostril breathing. So the idea is that you have what's called samavriti breath, equal part breathing. Your inhale and your exhale are exactly the same. All right, let's build on that a little bit, shall we? Inhale, look towards the top of your mat, step, walk, or jump yourself forward. lifting halfway. Exhale, fold. We'll root to rise. Inhale, push through your feet, sweep your arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, take your hands down by your sides. Gorgeous. All right. Inhale, arms sweep up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. This is your Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, step your left foot back. So listen up, you're gonna keep your back knee up this time. Right knee bends, sweep your arms up, high lunge. Perfect. Let those hips bounce a little bit, just sort of tapping into a buoyancy there. And this time we're gonna see if we can just shift the gaze up a little bit. Okay, just a little bit of an angle upward. We're here for 3, 2. Now see if you can take your right hand and catch your left wrist. Okay, pull yourself up tall and then bend over to the right. So sometimes you've got to straighten that front leg a little to maintain your balance. Sometimes it feels better to go deeper in your lunge. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, spin your back heel, come back into warrior 2. This time we're gonna inhale, take it back, reverse your warrior. Exhale, right elbow to right thigh, left arm comes over. So find this big side angle stretch. Okay, from the side of your foot to the tips of your fingers. And then spin your gaze to look right at the left palm of your hand. We're here for 3, 2. Good. As you exhale, release this left hand down to the ground. Release your right hand to the other side of your front foot. Little challenge. We're gonna pivot on those feet. Okay, move the tips of your toes towards the right edge of your mat. Here's that funky side plank thing again, right? Yeah. And then maybe you actually come into that side plank and stack your right foot on top of your left. If that's too much, here's the modification. Left knee on the ground. Cool. We're here for 3, 2. As you exhale, release your right hand to the mat. And then take your chaturanga or lower to your belly. Inhale, lift your heart up, dog or baby cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. We're gonna stay there for a moment so I can turn my phone off. Let's take a breath. Okay, so we'll stick with this right side for a little bit longer. We'll come through for warrior 1, right foot steps forward, spin your back heel and come up, warrior 1. So we all know this one, right? Feet are hip distance apart. I'm gonna face you on this one. Try to square those hips off as best you can. Yeah, right foot is forward, left foot is back, and you wanna root through all 4 corners of your feet. So let's take our hands to our heart. Here comes this figure 4 shape again. As we inhale, we step through, this left knee comes up. You're gonna cross that ankle over your right thigh and then start to sit your butt back. So for those of you who weren't here at the beginning of the call, we're working towards a peak pose this week that involves figure 4. Okay, so today we're kind of just opening up gently into it. Throughout the week, we'll go further. All right, so stay right there. I'm gonna show you from the side. So pretend like you're gonna poke the wall behind you with your tailbone. Yeah, push your bottom foot down, lift your heart. You're here for 3, 2, 1. Inhale, come all the way up, lift your knee, and then just relax down and shake that leg out, right? Your butt starts to burn a little bit, doesn't it? All right, hands are down, close your eyes, take a breath. We'll bend the knees, inhale, scoop the arms up, chair pose. As you exhale, we twist over to the right, you hook your left elbow, you find your chair twist. Sit back into your heels, lift your chest, spiral your gaze up. Inhale, come back to your chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. So we'll come back to that other side in a moment. Inhale, half lift, and we'll step the right foot back this time. We bend that front knee and you come into your high lunge. So pull the left hip back, find those nice bouncy buoyant hips. Like I said, some days it's gonna feel like woohoo, and other days it's like ugh, right? But we show up anyway. All right, so relax the shoulders down. Let's see if we can lift the gaze a little bit. And then left hand is gonna grab the right wrist, pull you up nice and tall. Inhale, and then you'll exhale over to the left. You might straighten that front knee a little bit, or you might actually go deeper in your lunge. And then as you inhale, come right back up, nice and tall. We'll spin your back heel and open it up, warrior two. Gorgeous. Inhale, float it back, reverse warrior, right arm down, left arm up. Exhale, we float forward, left elbow to left thigh, right arm reaches over. It's one long line, right? From the foot to the fingertips. And then we look at the right palm of our hand. Pull your belly button in for 3, 2. As you exhale, start to bring this right hand to the mat. You're gonna pick your right heel up. You can bring your left hand to the mat also. And you're gonna start to pivot on your feet so that your toes move toward the left side of your mat. It's a major hip opener here for this left hip. Left arm reaches up. It's like yowzer. You can stay here. You can stack your left foot on top of your right. You can modify with the right knee down. We're here for 3, 2. As you exhale, make your way back to your plank pose. Lower down, chaturanga. You can take a cat-cow. You can move through your child's pose. We take down dog. Just find that steady breath again. Let's lift up on those kneecaps. It engages your thighs. And then we'll take that warrior one on the left side. Inhale, step your left foot forward, root your back heel and come up, warrior one. So you guys probably noticed, right? Sometimes classes go a little slower, sometimes they go a little faster. When you move slow, it's challenging. You gotta hold things for longer. It also helps to calm your mind down and builds a stronger foundation. That way, when we move faster, you don't feel like you're kind of falling all over the place. All right, let's take your hands to your heart. Inhale, step this right knee up and through. And then we'll cross, ankle over thigh. Poke whatever's behind you, right, with your tailbone. Poke the wall behind you. Keep your top foot flexed, lift your chest. Yeah, gorgeous. We're here for 3, 2, and 1. As you inhale, come all the way back up, lift this knee, exhale, release that foot down, release your hands. So on Wednesday, we'll work with folds. We'll start to fold into that figure 4. You can shake this left leg out a little bit. Whew. And then come back, feet together, line up your toes. Relax your arms down, chair pose. Inhale, bend the knees, scoop the arms up. Exhale, we twist over to the left. We hook the right elbow across the left thigh. So notice if your feet collapse in, right? Keep your arches lifted. Stay rooted through all 4 corners of your feet. Here we are, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, come back, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Moving through a vinyasa. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step walk or jump back your way. Move through a vinyasa of your choice. We come back to down dog. So because we're working towards flying pigeon this week, also known as flying figure 4, we'll start to open that pigeon pose now. So let's take the right leg up, listen up, breathe it in here. Let's bend the knee, open up the hip, and just give you a chance if you want to flip that dog and come into your rock star. Okay, just an option. Just because I can do this doesn't mean I always choose to. Just FYI, has to make sense. We'll inhale, come back. Right leg lifts. Exhale, let's come into our pigeon pose. So if there are knee or hip issues, we lie on our back for figure 4. I think you all are okay though in this one. If your butt hangs out really far off the ground, just stuff a pillow under there. Yeah, a pillow or a book. We'll sit up nice and tall. So I notice in classes there's a bad habit of just kind of folding into this before we find the alignment. So see if you can prop yourself up, take a breath. And then you can start to come down onto the forearms. And then eventually you're maybe even able to come all the way down and rest the forehead down. And if you find that you have a lot of flexibility here, one thing I love is to bend the elbows and bring the prayer behind the head. So taking this for 5 breaths. So I want you to try something really quick as you're in this pose. I want you to squeeze your pelvic floor. And when you squeeze it, imagine that you're doing that because you're trying to lift the energy up through the middle of your body. So it's like you're not just squeezing to squeeze, right? You're squeezing to create an internal lifting sensation. That's Mula Bandha. That's what keeps us light on our feet. Good. We'll inhale, come back up to your hands, lift your chest, walk your hands back. Woo. And then as we exhale, bring those palms to the ground, tuck your back toe, and step it right back into your plank pose. Let's take this right knee over to the right elbow, and then back. Let's just do that a couple times, right and left. Okay, alternating. You can go a little faster if you like. One more each side. Take a deep breath in. You can child's pose or you can vinyasa. And then we'll find that down dog. Woo. All right. Yes, we're all still together. That's a great sign. Let's inhale, lift this left leg up. And then we'll bend the knee, start to open the hip. For those of you who want to take it over all the way, you can flip your dog. And then just slowly start to come on back. Inhale, lift your left leg, 3-legged dog. Exhale, pigeon pose. You can take as much time as you need, right, to come in. Try not to force your joints too fast. You'll sit up nice and tall. Right, when we sit like this, you can feel that more, right, in your back hip flexor. And then we'll come down onto the elbows or further. If you have further in your body, you can go further. Option if you want to take that prayer mudra behind your head. And then see if you can engage your mula bandha here. I just want to see if you start to notice a difference. Okay, when you start doing that, and at first it can feel like you really have to work really hard to do it. Eventually it becomes just more and more automatic. And then we'll slowly start to come back up to your hands. Let's tuck your back toe, lift your knee, step yourself back to your plank pose. We'll take a deep breath in. Exhale, lower down your vinyasa. Chaturanga or belly. Inhale, roll the shoulders back, lift the heart, and find your downward facing dog. Woo. All right, so we'll step walker jump to a seat. Okay, when you're ready, inhale, step walker jump forward. Come back into your seat. We're gonna lie back on your back, okay? Let's set it up for that same little low bridge that you did earlier, or come a little further this time and set it up for your high bridge. You guys, I think, know by now, right? High bridge, hands are by your ears. Low bridge, hands are by your hips. When you're ready, inhale, press through your feet, press through your hands, get those hips up. So remember that a back bend is like a bicep curl for your spine. You're strengthening your back and you're opening up the front of your body. You're opening up the front of your spine. So use your back muscles to bring you into that back bend. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly, slowly come down. Once you make your way back to the floor, take your feet together. Let your knees fall out wide. Take your right hand to your belly and your left hand to your heart. Smooth your breath out. And then I want to encourage you to try that 4-count breath once or twice here. Inhale 4, hold 4, exhale 4, hold 4. Awesome. That's my favorite breath. If I ever feel anxious or ungrounded, it's my go-to. All right, let's pick the knees up. Take your feet as wide as your mat and open your arms out nice and wide. Okay, we'll take a deep breath in. Let your knees spill to the left side of your mat. And if you want a little more here, this left ankle, okay, is gonna come around and hook across the top of your right thigh. Yeah. You can pull your belly button in, look towards that right hand. And then we'll just release the foot off the thigh. Let's lift the knees up. We'll drop the knees over to the right. So the feet are wide, right? It's a nice wide twist. This right foot comes across and it hooks on top of the left thigh. You can turn your head to the left. And then we'll release this foot off the thigh, lift your knees. And as you exhale, let's come into happy baby, catching outsides of your feet. Let's pull the knees toward the floor. Lengthen through the back of your neck. If it's available, straightening out your legs or maybe just one leg and then the other. Relax your shoulders. And then we'll inhale, slowly release the feet, catch a hold of the knees, and then just lastly, we're gonna rock up to a seat. You're gonna slide your hips back. We're gonna finish up here with the forward fold. So we'll move the flesh out of the way. zip the insides of your legs up. You can also bend your knees if your hamstrings are tight. Inhale to catch either the big toes. Maybe you catch the outsides of your feet. If none of that is available, you're welcome to bring your hands down. Yeah, just outside the thighs. And notice how this feels when you're not thinking about your pelvic floor. Okay, there's like a little bit of like a kind of a laziness that happens down there. Lift up through your pelvic floor. You're sending energy up Sushumna Nadi, middle of the body. As you inhale, come right back up to a seat. Nice tall spine. As you exhale, just slowly lower down all the way onto your back. We're gonna find a nice Monday morning Shavasana. Time to just chill it out for a moment and just know that as we move through class this week, we're gonna be building on what we did today. So closing your eyes, let's let the toes relax and flop out to the side. And if you're holding any tension in the face, just send a big breath into your face and releasing that tension on the exhale. I'll call you back very soon. Beautiful, everyone. Let's take a nice deep breath in and a long breath out. Let's make a little bit of movement there in your wrists, your ankles. You can just grab one or both knees and giving yourself a nice hug here as you maybe roll over to your right side. Take a pause. And then nice and easy, just pressing your way back up to a comfortable seat. We'll come here to close this practice together. So just taking a nice deep breath in and a long breath out as you close your eyes. We'll take our palms together, hands at the heart. And we'll finish out with a sound of Om. And if you can, I encourage you to really go loud this morning. Really send that sound through your breath. Let's take a deep breath in. We'll bow our heads forward, blessing this day, pronouncing it good. We say thank you. Namaste.